Hello student, myself Melissa Akhla, and in our subject structural analysis part 1, today we discuss for stability check of dam and retaining wall. Okay, now one by one we discuss the different type of check for dam and retaining wall. Okay, now first stability check for dam and retaining wall. Okay, now our first check for dam and retaining wall, that is no tension at the base. That means in dam and retaining wall we avoid the tension forces, because our dam, retaining wall and column, chimney, this type of structure are subjected to compressive forces. Okay, that means if compressive forces are inducing, then our structure is safe, but where our tension stresses are induced, then at that case our structure is failed due to this tensile forces. Okay, so that our main target is in remove to avoid this tension forces in dam and retaining wall. For that, no tension at the base, the condition we satisfy. First of all, to avoid tension in masonry at the base, minimum stress should not be negative. That means if our minimum stress should not be negative, there are two possibilities. First possibility is sigma minimum greater than 0 or sigma minimum equal to 0. Okay, and here I take sigma minimum greater or equal to 0, because from this relation we prove no tension at the base. What is the condition? Okay, this I will explain later. First of all, we derive this. Now what is the sigma minimum for dam and retaining wall? That is P by A 1 minus 6 E by B greater or equal to 0. Here we can write also W, because in some reference book P is given, in some reference book W is given. W and P both are weight of dam or weight of retaining wall. Okay, now here P by A is remove here, so 1 minus 6 E by B greater or equal to 0 are left. If this 6 minus E by B shifted from opposite side, then this 1 greater or equal to 6 E by B and this negative sign converted into positive sign. Okay, now if you want to write down this E B by 6 on left hand side, then simply inverse this B by 6, okay, cross multiply, simply I cross multiply B by 6 greater or equal to E. Now if I make E as a subject, then this relation will be converted into the opposite, E less than equal to B by 6. This relation simply say that if our eccentricity is less than or equal to B by 6, bottom width of sixth portion of bottom width, then our dam and retaining wall is safe against these tension forces. Okay, for that here I take a side section of pier, AB is the base, and bottom with B is divided in a 3 part, B by 3, B by 3 and B by 3, and sulfate of dam is act in downward direction. Okay, and this is the half of distance of B by 3, that is B by 6, B by 6. Now this figure, from this figure we learn one rule, that is middle third rule. Okay, now next on what is middle third rule? According to this, no tension at the base for dam and retaining. Okay, now what is this middle third rule? Now resultant force R must cut within middle third portion of base to avoid tension. It is known as middle third rule. Again I explain this figure. Total width of base is equal to B. Middle third portion, that means divide this width into 3 portion, B by 3, B by 3, B by 3, and resultant force R must cut within middle third portion of base. That means resultant force R cut must within this middle third portion, that is B by 3. Okay, so that in that condition our dam and retaining wall is safe from no tension at the base, and this rule is known as middle third rule. Okay, now next, no overturning. For that here I take a figure again. This is the side section of pier or dam or retaining wall. A retaining wall or dam is checked for following condition of stability, and that is no overturning. If our dam or retaining wall is safe against overturning, then this condition must be satisfied. Here two pressure are there. First one is our total earth pressure or water pressure, and second is our weight of wall or our dam. Okay, this is our soil pressure or water pressure, and this downward direction is weight of dam or weight of retaining wall. If no overturning in dam or retaining wall, then this condition is satisfied. That means our resisting moment is greater than our overturning moment. In this dam and retaining wall, our resisting moment is equal to W into this JB. Okay, weight of dam multiply with this distance JB, that is our resisting moment, and our overturning moment is equal to P into this distance JK. Okay, in that condition, if our this JB greater than JK is satisfied, then our dam is safe against overturning. Okay, now next, here we can write W into JB and W into JK also, because reference books are different given. Some reference book are given W into JB and P into H by 3, but here resisting moment we take W into JB, and our overturning moment we take W into JK. Okay, similarly, if this distance is greater than JK, then our dam is safe against overturning. Okay, now the third, no sliding. Sliding means that is refer to our friction force. Resisting force again for any movement, that is known as our friction force. Okay, here we can see that our sulfate of dam act in down direction. This soil pressure or water pressure is move this side section of pier in direction of soil or water. Okay, and friction force is act in opposite direction of this water pressure or soil pressure. Okay, for no sliding as the base, if our friction force, that is mu into W, is greater than this water pressure or soil pressure, then our dam is safe against no sliding. Okay, mu and W, mu means our coefficient of friction, W is equal to weight of dam or weight of retaining wall, and P is equal to soil pressure or water pressure. If in data factor of safety is given, then we can take this relation also, mu W by P greater than 1.5. Okay, this is for the no sliding at the base for dam. Now our last, no crushing at the base. That means if our maximum stress that we find out for dam and retaining wall is less than our crushing stress, that means our dam and retaining wall is safe against this no crushing at the base. Okay, here we can write also sigma C greater than sigma max also. Ultimate both are same thing. If our maximum value stress is less than crushing stress, dam is safe against crushing value, and if our crushing value is greater than maximum stress, again our dam is safe against this crushing stress. Okay, sigma C is equal to permissible crushing stress, and sigma max that we find out at the maximum stress for base. Okay, here we discuss for 4 stability check. First is our no tension, second is our no overturning, third is our no sliding, and fourth one is our crushing, no crushing at the base. Okay, now next we discuss for chimney. Okay, here we find out stresses for chimney. Chimney subjected to wind pressure. Okay, this is the plan of chimney. This is our stress distribution diagram, and this third figure is the elevation of chimney. Now in plan we can see that width B is given vertical and depth D is given horizontal. Okay, in plan of chimney, this width B resists the wind pressure. Okay, so here width B is with direction of wind pressure indicate. Okay, and this is our stress distribution diagram. Maximum stress and minimum stress is depend upon eccentricity. Okay, here is the height of chimney, and wind pressure is given with respect to along the wall of chimney, and notation of wind pressure is sigma, and unit is equal to kilonewton per meter square. And this wind pressure is act as a UDL on the surface of this chimney, wall of this chimney. Okay, now one by one we find out direct and bending stress for this chimney. Okay, first Density, that means that is the unit weight of material or chimney that here we use for construction. Then density, simply we know that is a weight per volume. Okay, here we find out weight, that is equal to density into volume. Now what is volume? Volume is equal to area into height. Here we write down area into length, but in chimney the major factor is height of chimney. So in replace of length, here I take a height. Okay, now direct stress is equal to weight of chimney divided by area. Here we find out what is weight of chimney, del rho into area into height. Okay, density into area into height divided by area of chimney. Okay, from this numerator and denominator cut this a, and my direct stress is equal to rho into height. Okay, my direct stress is equal to rho into height, where rho is equal to density of construction material and h is equal to height of chimney. Now next we find out wind force, because wind pressure is equal to force divided by area. Here we find out force, and this force is depend upon wind pressure into area. Okay, here wind force P is equal to sigma. Sigma means wind pressure act on the wall of chimney, and in our plan we can see that wind pressure is act on width of chimney. Here we take B, and also with respect to B it is subjected to height of chimney also. So wind force P is equal to sigma into B into H, where P is equal to wind force and sigma is equal to wind pressure. If wind coefficient is given in data, we simply multiply with C. Notation of wind coefficient is equal to C. C into sigma into B into H. Now next, this force will induce bending moment on the base, and this bending moment is equal to wind force into height divided by 2. Okay, this is the equation of moment that induce at the base of chimney, wind force into height by 2. Okay, bending stress is equal to m by z. Okay, bending stress sigma b m, and z is the section modulus for different section. If circular section is given, then pi by 64 d raised to 4. If hollow circular section given, then pi by 32 capital D d raised to 4 minus small d raised to 4. And if our rectangle section given, then bd square by 6. Okay, this is the different equation for different section. Now we find out sigma max and sigma minimum. Sigma max is the summation of direct stress plus bending stress, and sigma minimum is equal to difference between direct stress and bending stress. Okay, in this dam, retaining wall and chimney, dam and retaining wall subjected to UVL type of loading, and our chimney is subjected to UDL type of loading. That is the major difference between dam, retaining wall and chimney. Dam and retaining wall subjected to same type of loading, that is UVL. Okay, and retaining wall chimney is subjected to UDL type of loading. Okay, now in this in today's session we discuss for stability checks, and also we discuss the theory portion for calculation of stresses in chimney. Okay, now in next session we start our example. Be ready with your calculator. Just now we stop here.